Now in this video we are discussing about the transport of gases. In previous video lecture we have discussed about the exchange of gases at two places, that is at the place of alveoli and at the place of tissue. Now we will discuss how these gases are transported between the alveoli and the body tissue. So let us discuss one by one about the transport of gases. First we will discuss about the transport of oxygen, then we will discuss about the transport of carbon dioxide, because these are the two gases, oxygen and carbon dioxide, known as respiratory gases. So the topic of our lecture is the transport of gases. Transport of respiratory gases. So there are two respiratory gases, that is oxygen and carbon dioxide. So we will discuss individual as transport of oxygen and transport of carbon dioxide. So the first topic is the transport of oxygen. So let us discuss about this topic, that is how the transport of oxygen takes place in our body. So first we need to know the direction of transport and the medium for the transport. So the direction for transport of oxygen is from alveoli to body tissue. Means alveoli is the place where there is more concentration or high partial pressure of oxygen, where there is no use of oxygen, and in the tissue there is a low partial pressure of oxygen where its consumption takes place regularly. So the direction of transport of oxygen will be from high partial pressure to low partial pressure. It means from alveoli to body tissue, the transport of oxygen taking place in our body. And now the medium. So the medium through which the transport of gases take place, and these mediums are the blood. The blood is the medium for transport of oxygen. Now, how or in which form the oxygen carried or transport in our blood or through our blood, we will explain here. So, the transport of oxygen takes place in two ways. There are two forms. There are two forms in which oxygen gets transported through our blood. So the first form is the with RBC. So RBCs has contain hemoglobin. So it means inside the RBC, hemoglobin is the pigment which is known as iron containing pigment, and this hemoglobin combined with oxygen and to form oxyhemoglobin. And in the form of oxyhemoglobin, the transport of oxygen takes place about 97 to 99%. It means about 97 to 99% of oxygen transport through our blood takes place in the form of oxyhemoglobin. So, and the second in the form of rest, that means about 1 to 3% of oxygen in dissolve form, dissolve in plasma. So dissolve in plasma form, oxygen also get transported from our alveoli to body tissue, but only in very small quantity, that is about 1 to 3%. So first let us discuss about the formation of oxyhemoglobin. So there are two conditions, or there are two stages for oxyhemoglobin. The first is for binding, and the second is for dissociation. It means the first, which is the place of binding, which is known as alveoli. Alveoli is the place where the oxygen binds with hemoglobin to form oxyhemoglobin. So how the binding, or what are the conditions, favorable conditions for binding? So let us discuss that. The favorable condition for binding of oxygen with hemoglobin. So the favorable condition involve the low, high partial pressure of oxygen, low partial pressure of carbon dioxide, low hydrogen ion concentration, and low temperature. So these are the various conditions or favorable conditions for the binding of oxygen with hemoglobin, and these conditions are available at the place of alveoli. So the 97 to 99% hemoglobin get attached with oxygen to form oxyhemoglobin, and in the form of oxyhemoglobin, this oxygen go to the body tissue. It means the favorable condition for binding, and this favorable condition available at alveoli. It means in the alveoli, these are the favorable conditions for binding of hemoglobin with oxygen. Now we will discuss the dissociation, and the dissociation occur. So the favorable condition for dissociation, favorable condition for dissociation of oxyhemoglobin into oxygen and hemoglobin. So dissociation required at the place of tissue. It means these conditions are available in tissue. So what are the conditions? So the condition just opposite to the this condition for binding. So the opposite condition is the low partial pressure of oxygen, high partial pressure of carbon dioxide, high concentration of hydrogen ion, and high temperature. So these are the favorable conditions for dissociation of oxyhemoglobin in our body tissue. So in this way, these favorable conditions are responsible for binding as well as dissociation of oxygen with hemoglobin, and it is the processes that are required for the transport, easy transport and release of oxygen at the place of tissue. So the tissue or the cells of tissue may be able to get the maximum supply of oxygen. So in this way, hemoglobin is required by body in sufficient amount. So this is all about the transport of oxygen. And one thing is also we need to discuss, that the oxygen dissociation curve. So oxygen dissociation curve is also related topic to the transport of oxygen. So there is a sigmoid curve we obtain when we plot a graph between the saturation hemoglobin saturation with oxygen against the partial pressure of oxygen. So if we plot the graph between the hemoglobin saturation with oxygen and partial pressure of oxygen, we get a sigmoid curve, and this is called the sigmoid curve, and this curve is also known as oxygen dissociation curve. It means as the partial pressure of oxygen get increased, the saturation of hemoglobin with oxygen, it means the formation of oxyhemoglobin take place in larger quantity, and one place coming during the saturation, and the place will be about 95%. So if the 95% hemoglobin get saturated with oxygen, then the curve goes in straight direction. It means above these partial pressure of oxygen, no saturation of hemoglobin with oxygen take place. So we can also observe here about 97 to 99% hemoglobin get attached with oxygen. So here it is also given for the saturation of hemoglobin with oxygen with the help of oxygen dissociation curve. So this is all about the transport of oxygen in our body. Now we will discuss the other part, that is the transport of carbon dioxide. Now the transport of CO2. So for the CO2, hemoglobin is also responsible for the transport. So the first form in which carbon dioxide be transported through our blood is the carb-amino hemoglobin. It means carbon dioxide CO2 get attached with hemoglobin at the place of T-sol, and this form the carb-amino hemoglobin. So carb-amino hemoglobin is the form in which some of the carbon dioxide, about 20 to 25% CO2, is transported in the form of carb-amino hemoglobin. The rest, and we also discussed here about the favorable condition for association and dissociation, as in the case of oxygen. So the favorable condition for binding of hemoglobin with carbon dioxide will be the high partial pressure of carbon dioxide and low partial pressure of oxygen, while the dissociation of carbaminohemoglobin, the favorable condition is the low concentration of low partial pressure of carbon dioxide. It means the place where the low pressure of low partial pressure of CO2 and the high partial pressure of oxygen will be available. So in that place the carbaminohemoglobin becomes dissociated and the carbon dioxide get released. So the place is the alveoli. It means the place for dissociation of carbaminohemoglobin is the alveoli, while the place for binding of carbon dioxide with hemoglobin to form carbaminohemoglobin is the body tissue. Now the second form in which CO2 get transported to our blood is the carbonic acid. So carbonic acid, in the form of carbonic acid, about 70%. The 70% of CO2 get transported in this form. So there is an enzyme which is known as carbonic anhydrase, which is present in our RBC in maximum amount, but it is also present in our blood plasma in small quantity. So in blood plasma, carbonic anhydrase facilitate a reaction at the place of our body tissue. So at the place of body tissue, there is the release of CO2, and this CO2 combined with water to form the H2CO3, which is the carbonic acid. So this reaction takes place in both the direction. Means the carbonic anhydrase facilitate the reaction in both directions. That means carbon dioxide combined with water to form carbonic acid, and carbonic acid break to form CO2 and water. So the forward reaction take place in tissue, body tissue, while the reverse reaction take place in alveoli. It means in the alveoli there is need of release of carbon dioxide, so the carbonic acid becomes dissociated and forms CO2 and water. So water get remain in our blood plasma, while CO2 get released into the alveoli from the blood. And in this way CO2 get transported from our blood and released into the alveoli. Now the third form of transportation take place in the form of dissolve in plasma. Because of the carbon dioxide is more soluble than oxygen, so the carbon dioxide transport through plasma dissolve in plasma more than oxygen. So about 7% of CO2 get dissolved in plasma and transported through our blood. So this is all about the transport of respiratory gases, that means transport of oxygen and transport of CO2. So how first let us revise this. So first topic we have discussed the direction. So direction of transport of oxygen is from alveoli to our body tissue, and the medium is the blood. Same for the carbon dioxide, the transport direction for transport is the reverse, that means from body tissue to the alveoli. It is the direction for transport. Now, in which form the gases get transported in the medium, that is blood. So the first form for the transport of oxygen, the maximum transport takes place with RBC that contain hemoglobin. It is about 97 to 99%. In the form of oxyhemoglobin, it means hemoglobin combined with oxygen to form oxyhemoglobin, and rest 1 to 3% transportation of oxygen take place in dissolved form in the plasma, through the plasma. Now, we have also discussed the favorable condition for binding at the base of alveoli for the binding of hemoglobin with oxygen. It may be the important question for our examination, the favorable condition for binding of oxygen and hemoglobin in alveoli to form oxyhemoglobin. So these are the favorable conditions: high partial pressure of oxygen, low partial pressure of carbon dioxide, low hydrogen ion concentration, and low temperature, which are available at the base of alveoli. While the favorable condition for dissociation of oxyhemoglobin into oxygen and hemoglobin, these are the just opposite to this condition. That means low partial pressure of oxygen, high partial pressure of carbon dioxide, high concentration of hydrogen ion, and high temperature, and which are available at the base of tissue. Means at the base of tissue, the oxyhemoglobin becomes dissociated to form hemoglobin and oxygen, while at the base of alveoli they form oxyhemoglobin. And next, for the transport of carbon dioxide, the first way is in the form of carbon hemoglobin, which is also the product of hemoglobin with CO2, and about 20 to 25% transport in our blood of carbon dioxide take place in this form, carbon hemoglobin. While the maximum amount of transportation of carbon dioxide takes place in the form of carbonic acid, about 70%, and this carbonic acid form with the combination of or combining of CO2 and water in the presence of an enzyme which is known as carbonic anhydrase, and this carbonic anhydrase is present in our plasma. It is also present in RBC, but in some amount present in plasma, which facilitates this reaction in both directions. It means carbon dioxide combined with water to form carbonic acid, and this process takes place in our body tissue, and when the blood carry this carbonic acid at the base of alveoli, the reverse process taken place, means carbonic acid break to form carbon dioxide and water. Now, the third form in which carbon dioxide also can be transported in our blood, it is the form in dissolved form through the plasma, and about 7% CO2 get transported through our plasma in dissolved form. So this is all about the transport of gases. So thank you for watching this.